Friendship is something that is an integral part of our lives that we don't talk about well enough. It's me saying that I love you, my dear friend, and you mean a lot to me. I love you. I'll never get tired of chasing you, and I know that you love me too. God is not going to come down and give you all the things you want as long as you are on this side of life. Your friends are a gift or treasures that are wrapped. It's not every time that your spouse brings 100%. And there are times where you're like, this person is not reciprocating my love, but because I love them, I'm going to still go all out with them. Is that correct?
Hey!
So if you can do that for your spouse,
oh wow,
why can't you do it for your friend?
Hey!
For where God is taking us to and what He wants to do. There are some people that all we have to do is just align. But we're like, this person did not call me on my birthday, and that's some period. It's over.
Oh, but you know how painful it is when you actually love someone. Thank you for tuning in, and this is part 2 of this full episode. So if you haven't seen part 1, make sure you watch part 1 so that you can get the full gist. What's the longest friendship that you have to date?
Actually, I've known my friends for a very long time. Like, I have friends from JS1.
Wow.
I have one of my primary school friends. We're not as close, but we recently reconnected. So the longest friendship, and I have also my childhood friends, like maybe people who were neighbors and all of that. So, but if I'm to just put it into a context, I would say most of my secondary school friends. So that's about 20. I finished in 2005. And this is 2024.
Wow.
Yeah, and one of my friends, one of my very, very good and close friends.
Yes.
Yeah. So for example, I've known her since maybe 2000.
Wow.
Maybe it's 2000. Yeah.
Amazing.
So about 24 years each.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's long. That's pretty long. Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. Wow. So what's the secret of keeping long friendship? Because I'm sure somebody's wondering, like, how are you able to do that? Well, most of us that are young, we can also start now, and then when we're in our 60s, we can say, oh, yeah, I've had this friendship for almost 30 years. So
absolutely.
What's the secret?
Number 1 secret is to get my book, Building Forever Friendships.
Yeah.
Because every secret is right inside the book. So to just answer your question, I think that if we take friendship more seriously, like we take our other relationships, like we take marriage, like we take what else? Other relationships that are important to us. If we actually take friendship that serious, you will build a lasting. It's not to say that you will not have conflicts and all of those things, but just the way you would have conflicts with your spouse and settle it, you will have conflicts with your friends and settle it. And when you settle those conflicts, it helps you to be closer onto one another. So I'll say intentionality. It's important for you to be intentional. Being intentional means you are deliberate. You know what you are doing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So for example, you are my friend, I'm your friend. I will go all the way out to show you that you matter to me. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Even in your annoying state, even when you're not giving me 100% or you're not giving me your best, I will go all the way out to say, you matter to me. So imagine that kind of relationship is being reciprocated. It will be so beautiful.
Yeah.
So just being intentional in pursuing your friends, in cheering them on, in making them happy, in encouraging them, in being there for them. Like, it's actually a big deal. It's me saying that I love you, my dear friend, and you mean a lot to me. And I'm not. Yes.
Give us that phrase. Oh my God! Without you giving us that, give us some Oremi monologue. I'm sure BFF fans out there, they want to hear that Oremi.
Oremi. I love you. I'll never get tired of chasing you, and I know that you love me too. Yeah.
That's it. That's so beautiful. Every time I just see like how much passion you exude when you're talking about friendship. Just show us what is possible. Because like you said, if we pursue our relationship with God, the way we pursue our relationship with our significant other, or the way we pursue our relationship with family, if we can just actually extend that same seriousness to friendship, but then the problem is reciprocity.
Yeah. And the truth is, like I said earlier, God wants to express Himself to us through the gift of people. God is not going to come down and give you all the things you want as long as you are on this side of life. So in your friends are a gift or treasures that are wrapped, that if you are not discerned, you wouldn't take advantage of, or you wouldn't know, and may we not even mismanage such relationships.
Amen.
Do you get? So the truth is, you asked me earlier about what are the tools and all of that, and I said intentionality. Aside from intentionality, there's also love. It's not every time that your spouse brings 100%. And there are times where you're like, this person is not reciprocating my love, but because I love them, I'm going to still go all out for them. Is that correct?
Yes.
It's because we are not attaching as much priority to it. It is very important, but we don't see it as that. We take it for granted. Meanwhile, oh my God, God has blessed us with the gift of people, and there are some people that their destiny is tied to ours. Where God is taking us to and what He wants to do. There are some people that all we have to do is just align in the move of God for what He's doing in their lives. Just know that relationship, respect it. But we're like, this person did not call me on my birthday, and that's some period. It's over.
But you know how painful it is when you actually love someone. You know how friendship is that you, like you said, Remy, I love you, and you're showing love. You keep pouring into this person, but you're not getting the same vibe. How long do you want to do that for? You get how long do you want to keep doing that? And for someone that is not reciprocating, and it's not as if they are not showing other people the same love that you are showing them, but they are not. So, like, what do you do when the friendship is not mutual? When do you let go?
So that's the thing. You asked me earlier about I don't remember how you put it, but something about the tools for making friendship work and all of that. And I said intentionality. I said love. There is also a place of communication. What do you do when your husband is not reciprocating your love? What do you do?
Oh my God, it's serious.
You know why I'm throwing it back to you? Because we treat friendship like just one aspect somewhere there. We don't consider it as important, but it's actually as important as your marriage.
Wow.
If you look at it that way, and then you see people. So I was telling someone recently, I said, I see people as a gift to me.
Wow.
I see people, I'm intentional. When I meet people, I'm like, there is a purpose why this person has come into my life.
Wow.
So even when I'm in my feelings, I wouldn't let my feelings get ahead of me or jeopardize whatever reason God is trying to use this person to bless me or me to bless the person. So when you see people that way, that God has sent this person into my life for a purpose, and you treat that relationship that way, then you be intentional about it. That's not to say you're not going to have issues. The truth is, wherever two human beings are, even when you're trying to work closely or closer to each other, you will step on each other. So conflict is inevitable. But how you handle it is the most important thing. Now, back to your question, communication. You communicate, but there's a lot to unpack, right, with the question that you asked. Because before you even made this person your friend, what are the yardsticks, or on what level did you guys connect? Do you understand? Are your values the same? Do you have the same interest? Are they, people who are of like minds and all of that? But now you are friends. I'm showing you love in a certain way. You are not showing me love. Communicate. One of my friend's birthday is next week. She was already telling us like last week, say, come, I don't want so. I want so. What is that? That's communication. That's just a mild example, but that's communication.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Communication is, hey, I feel like I'm giving a lot more in this friendship in terms of energy, in terms of time, in terms of resources, and I'm not getting the same vibe back. That's communication. One of my friends was ghosting us recently, and we tried as much as possible to reach out to her. She will talk when she wants to talk and all of that. But when we finally saw, we told her, we said, come, this thing you are doing, we understand that sometimes you need a break, you need to be on your own, but also know that it has an impact. It has a negative impact on us. It rubs off on us the wrong way. We made her see why what she's doing is wrong. And she was like, oh, I didn't see it that way. I'm sorry. See, that one brought us closer.
Wow.
Imagine, let's take the same story, and I'm like, this one is always ghosting. I'm not doing it again. I'm done. The energy she's giving me is blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's how we won't cross that hurdle, and forever. We'll never know the deeper level or the depth that we could have gotten to in this friendship. But when you communicate and say, hey, you did this, I'm not ruling out the fact that people are toxic. I mean, there's a place of whereby somebody just did something, maybe they don't even know. Sometimes what you're thinking in your head is not what they are thinking at all. Like, we've seen cases like that, where one of my friends was telling me recently that she does not used to farabalẹ̀, like she was acknowledging it herself that sometimes she would just be so anxious that she would have thought of different things, and later she would just find out that the thing it wasn't even the way she. You understand? It's not that deep. Do you get? So how do you know these things? It's communication. Communication is Bimbo, what you are saying, the way I'm hearing it, this is the way it's coming to me, or it's rubbing off on me one way. Is that what you are really saying? Then you now say, Adetoun, that's not what I'm really saying. That's not what I meant to. That was not my intention. Okay, I will do better. I will say better next time. Okay, I will give you a better vibe. But what we do in our generation is, well, this one is, you just make assumptions in your head.
Oh my God.
And you just keep things going. And what is wrong with that is that you never know what you are missing out on. You don't know the full potential that God has for that relationship.
Wow.
You understand? So I could go on and on.
No. That that was a master class on its own, because I think you're just giving us like this total. For me, I just experienced like a total mind shift, like you said. What's that person elevate to the position of friendship? So first of all, we need to unravel that. Be sure that
Yes,
this is
yes. How
actually
you make this?
how did you, because I
Yes.
used to work in banking, and I remember having some colleagues, like where we were like on the same pedestal. You understand, like how you are,
Yeah.
senior colleagues, they are junior colleagues, and all of you like on the
Yeah.
same, and then how do you draw that line between a colleague and a friend? Because I've just come to realize that, look, the fact that you see each other every day at work, or you talk, or you're in the same unit, or you enter together, doesn't even warrant, or doesn't automatically translate to friendship. But I think a lot of
Yeah.
people miss that step. You are unable to actually know when it should transition from, oh, this is just a colleague, to becoming a friend. So can you just like give like insights on that?
There are colleagues, there are acquaintances, there are
Exactly.
church members, there are different
Neighbors.
people in our lives. I think time is an important factor when it comes to who becomes your friend. And this is not also to say that you can meet someone during a short period and you will connect.
Yeah.
But because friendship is deep, you can't say someone is your friend without the person earning your trust or you earning the person's trust. So there's also trust. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
apart from time, there's also time is what will now open up to, oh, can I trust this person? Do you understand? So how you connect, over time, how you handle issues, how you are able to talk, how you're able to be vulnerable, which is another factor. Trust, vulnerability, time, because I mean, what's use is our friendship if I cannot tell you what I'm going through? You understand? So for a colleague, for example, have they earned your trust? Do you connect with them on a deeper level beyond just work? You understand? Have they earned your trust? Time will tell. Can you be vulnerable with them? Time will tell. Do you understand? Do you love them beyond the work that has brought you together? Do you love them? Time will tell. So there are so many things to unpack there, but I think time is just an important factor.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Wow, 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 wow. So, as we round up, this amazing conversation, how do you set boundaries in friendship?
There's something I always say that I learned. It says when a person, I don't want to use the word because that's what I'm getting at. But when a person overstretches your boundaries, that is abuse. That's abuse. So as a person, you have your boundaries, you know your boundaries. Also, it is important again to communicate your boundaries. So for example, again, that now takes us back to on what standards, on what basis did you even become friends in the first place? Values, very important. What are your values? So if we call ourselves friends, you already should know what I value and what I don't value, or what I would consider offensive to me, or topics of discussion that that you should not even bring to me at all, because hey, this is the kind of person that this my friend is. So when you know that, I'm assuming that I have communicated it to you. I don't know if you understand what I mean. So when you know that and you are now crossing that line, that boundary, then that means you are abusing me.
Wow.
That's no longer, that's toxic. You understand? Yes, I'm very passionate about friendship. Yes, I'm an advocate for, building long lasting forever friendships, just like my book says. But I'm not for toxic friendships, and I know that they exist. Where somebody keeps getting on your last nerve, you keep complaining. Where there's a pattern, and you keep complaining, there's no change. You already know that this person is toxic and this person is not good for you. So that in that case, that's what's it called? That's abuse.
Yeah.
How do you keep and maintain boundaries? Again, communication from the very beginning. You already know the kind of person I am. You know the things that I hold so dear. You know the things that I would never do. You know the things that I would do. Do you understand? So when you communicate it from time to time, the person already knows. If the person steps that once, twice, 3 times, they keep doing it, then that's abuse, right? If you have not, on the flip side, if you have not communicated your boundaries to a person, you don't really have a right to be upset.
Wow.
Yeah, because you have not said, Bimbo, I don't like this thing. Bimbo keeps doing that thing because she does not know that Adetoun does not like it. So Adetoun has no right to say, I'm upset. It's a different case if I had said, Bimbo, there's something you always do that I don't like. It makes me feel a certain way, blah, 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 blah. Then that way I have communicated my, what's it called to you?
Right.
For lack of a better expression here, my values or whatever it is, I communicated it to you. If you now know and you still go ahead to hurt me, then that's abuse.
And what do
I
you
don't
do
know if that
in that
answers your
situation?
question.
So what do you do
In
when
that
you're in
situation,
abuse? Yes.
when it's an abuse or a toxic relationship, you now. What are you doing there? If it's toxic,
Just like every
you
relationship.
yes. If it's toxic, if it's
Mm.
not good for your mental health, like for real, not the one that they always say small thing mental health, small thing cut off. Not that kind. Like if it's really toxic, if it's
Yeah.
really, really toxic, then you flee. You
Oh, wow.
leave. The truth is the world is so beautiful and there are so many people out there who are going to love you
Love
and you
you.
are going to you'll be like, wow, this exists. Yes, it does.
Wow.
I'm telling you something that I was still thinking about earlier today. I was just like, this world is so beautiful. There are so many kind people that I've not even met. And yeah, I have a lot of good people around me. There are so many. So you will flee believing that God will send you the right people. You see, the people who believe that friendship is not a real thing, people are just deceiving themselves, female friends cannot. They keep believing that that's their narrative and that's the narrative they will keep saying.
That's what they will keep attracting.
But if you believe that, this world is so beautiful, God will send me the right people, the right friends, God will send them away. That's what you keep attracting, like you said. So yeah.
Wow. So, just briefly, what birthed BTC going to conceive?
Well, it was an instruction from God. Yeah, it was an instruction from God. And I just decided to. So the business I do is we cater to pregnant women, nursing moms, and all of that. So I already have that community of pregnant women, and then sometimes we have waiting moms also. But it's something that, of course, I was passionate about. Naturally, I would pray for any pregnant woman or any nursing mom or waiting moms. But GTC in particular was an instruction that came along the line when I started. It came like years after. Years after. I didn't even connect it until later.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it was an instruction from God.
So now I'm looking at it on the flip side, the fabulous bomb. You left 9 to 5 to start that.
Yeah.
So was it just out of passion, or that was also an instruction, or you just had many pregnant women around you?
No, so I didn't just leave my job. I got to a point where I wanted more. And I went to a business school because I used to be one of those people that used to say, oh, I'm not interested in business. I don't know how to do business. So I went to a business school to learn about how to do business. And I was also praying because as a child of God, I just believe that it's important to be at the center of the will of God for your life. You get, so it's important to be in the will of God part-time. So you always have to ask him, as you're asking him, what am I created for and everything, you always have to ask him, what will you have me do now? Do you understand? So I was praying, I was still going to work, but I was tired, and it got to a point I started praying, God, I want more. I don't like it here anymore. It took about 2 years before I finally got that release in my spirit to go. And I went to business school, and then it coincided with the time where I was pregnant at that time, my second child. And then I'll just, at some point I didn't, of course, that general issue of every pregnant woman, when you get to maybe second trimester, your clothes don't fit anymore and all of that. So I had that, but I would just still find a way to combine, make stuff, and a lot of people would admire me. You look so beautiful, this one, that one. Before I knew it, I was like, okay, maybe I should start something with this line. And then we started with manufacturing at that time. And then over time we just evolved into the different things that we are now doing today.
Amazing. Wow, what a beautiful story. So as we close this discussion, what is your legacy?
I think at the core of everything I do is to impact lives, to give value, and to just generally leave people better than I met them. That's something that I would love to be remembered for. Value. If you look at the Pregnancy Affirmations Journal that we produced at Fabulous Book, at the core of it is value, is thoughtfulness, it's impact, right? I have so many stories from that, so many stories. If you look at the BFF book, it's also connection, it's thoughtfulness, it's leaving people, because it's us educating people to say, hey, you can do this thing right. That's also value. So I think that's what I'd like to be known for, just giving value and leaving people better than I have met them.
Oh, wow. Amazing. So what's the final piece of advice for fellow marketplace apostles?
Fellow marketplace apostles. Okay, what I would just say is be at the center of God's will for your life at every time. Don't get carried away with the titles. Don't get carried away with the things of this world. At every time, just be at the center of God's will for your life.
Where can we find you online?
Okay, on IG, I am Bola Shodun, BOLASODUN. And there is BFF Lifestyle Community. But it's BFF Lifestyle. Lifestyle is spelled LY instead of LI. And there is Fabulous Bump and more. Fabulous Bump NG. Yeah, Fabulous Bump NG on IG.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Adetoun, for coming to the
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Take care. And that is the end of this awesome video. I'm sure it was value packed for you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and drop your comments below. Let us know what you are taking away from this particular episode, what resonated with you, what was the aha moment for you, what questions do you have for the guest. And of course, don't forget that we have more that we have cooked for you. So share this video with your friends, with your family, with your neighbors, with everyone that you know, and let them know the Mountains of Influence podcast is changing lives, is transforming paradigms, and it is here to equip you for the work of the kingdom in the marketplace. Don't forget, Mountains of Influence podcast is for apostles in the marketplace. Stay tuned and God bless. I am Abimbola Oliyide.